You know, isn't it funny how life has this way of unfolding in the most unexpected ways? Something we're so sure is bad one day can look totally different when we look back on it. Today, we're going to dive deep into that very idea, all through a really powerful story about perspective.
So just think about it for a second. When something goes wrong, you miss a flight, maybe you lose a job, or just hit a roadblock, what's your gut reaction? Is it to immediately think, oh no, this is a complete disaster? Look, most of us do that. But what if that instant judgment is making us miss the bigger picture?
To really get a feel for this, we're going to turn to a classic old fable. It's a simple story about a farmer, his son, and a wild chain of events that teaches a pretty profound lesson. So let's meet our main guy, a humble farmer we'll call Mr. Adam.
Now, you gotta understand, for a poor farmer like Mr. Adam, his horse wasn't just some animal. It was his whole livelihood. I mean, he needed it for everything, plowing fields, getting to the market. So one morning he wakes up and his horse, Max, is gone, vanished. It feels like an absolute catastrophe.
So naturally, his neighbors and everyone in the village come over to offer their sympathies. They're all saying, "Oh, Mr. Adam, this is just terrible, awful luck. How will you manage?" But Mr. Adam, he just looks at them, totally calm, and says this one simple thing: good or bad, time will tell.
So a few days go by, and then something totally amazing happens. Max, the horse that ran away, he finds his way back home. And get this, he isn't alone. He's brought a whole herd of 5 beautiful wild horses with him. Just like that, the farmer's fortune has completely changed overnight. And of course, the villagers rush right back to his farm, but this time they're celebrating. "Mr. Adam, you're so blessed," they're all shouting. "This is incredible. What amazing fortune." But again, the farmer is completely unfazed by it all. He just replies with those exact same words: good or bad, time will tell.
So, the farmer and his son Daniel, they start working on taming these new wild horses. But during one of the attempts, Daniel gets thrown, and thrown hard. He takes a really bad fall, and the result is a severely broken leg. A painful, terrible injury.
And, well, you can probably guess what happened next, right? The villagers show up again, shaking their heads. "See? They say those horses weren't a blessing after all, they were a curse. Now your only son is hurt." And for the third time, Mr. Adam just looks at them and says, "Good or bad, time will tell."
About a week later, some army officials show up in the village. A war has been declared, and they're there to conscript every single able-bodied young man into the army. One by one, the sons of the village are taken away from their families to go fight in a really brutal war.
But when the officials get to Mr. Adam's farm, they see his son Daniel laid up with that broken leg. They decide he's totally unfit for service, so they just move on. Daniel was the only young man in the entire village who was spared from going to war.
So let's just trace this wild chain of events. The bad luck of the horse running away led to the good luck of getting 5 more. That good luck led to the bad luck of his son breaking a leg, which in the end led to the incredible fortune of his son's life being saved. At no single moment could you have ever predicted what was coming next.
And that, right there, is the heart of the farmer's wisdom. It's not about being passive or not caring. It's an active choice to hold off on judging things. It's choosing to see life not as a series of separate snapshots, but as one long connected movie where the full story is still unfolding.
So here's the bottom line, the most crucial point. We're living life looking through a keyhole. We see this one single moment right in front of us, but we can't see the whole room. That job rejection, that breakup, that setback, it feels so final in the moment. But really, it's just one scene in a much, much bigger film. Okay, so this is a great story, but it's not just a story, right? The real trick is figuring out how to take this ancient idea and actually use it in our own lives, with our own modern problems. So how do we do that?
It really boils down to 2 key things. First, when times are tough, it gives you hope. It's a reminder that this hardship might just be setting you up for something amazing that you can't see yet. And second, when things are going great, it keeps you humble. It reminds you that things can change, so you should stay grateful and grounded. Just let that idea really sink in for a minute. The path you were forced off of, it might have been leading straight to a cliff. That door that slammed shut in your face, it might have just saved you from a building that was about to collapse. The simple truth is, we just don't know. And the farmer's wisdom is all about learning to be okay with not knowing. So the next time you're faced with what feels like a crushing defeat or even a huge win, maybe just take a breath.
Remember the farmer. Acknowledge what's happening, but hold on to that idea that there's always more to the story. And hey, what's one thing in your own life that you once labeled bad, but now, looking back, you can see it was actually a hidden blessing?